is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with another legendary character review video for you. In today's video, I'm sure you guys have seen it now, but the United Kingdoms is back officially with Black Bolt for the next 2 days and 21 hours. We do have the available access to be able to unlock Black Bolt for future use. Today we're going to go ahead, talk about his kit, show you some quick gameplay in terms of how his Inhumans synergize with him in battle, and last but not least, talk about where he is in the game right now and whether or not he is worth investing even at this stage. So just for future reference, you guys, I have been playing the game now just about 16 to 17 months here. As you can see, my full days logged in is 485. With that being said, I'm hoping to provide some insight in terms of whether or not I do use him. So overall, let's take a look at Black Bolt's kit and really talk about where he is right now. First and foremost, this is where I have him built up right now. Tier 13, you can see with the level 5 striker. Talking about his abilities, Royal Strike. Essentially, his basic has the ability to actually, if the target has slow, he's able to flip the 2 negative additions as well, dealing a really proficient damage. As you can see, 400% damage. On top of that, it's one of the few basics in the game that does actually flip the negative effects, as you can see here. So it does actually clear it. So absolutely crucial. That's why I did T4 this, to be able to actually flip it from 1 negative to actually 2, and as well that increase in damage is very nice. Black Bolt is noted as one of the most offensively gifted legendaries in the game, so really you do want to capitalize on most of his skills because of that extra boost in health. A boost in damage and output. So Staggering Voice is a special ability, nothing too crazy. He does actually just attack one target, but you can see here, unlike other characters with this one target, he does immense scaling and damage. So you can see here, with a T4 all the way, his primary target damage is going to be 600%, and on top of that, it is unavoidable. So even if Black Bolt's blinded, even if the target actually has the dodge, this is actually never going to miss. So that's a really nice effect just to utilize if ever he is blinded and you still want to be able to hit the target. Keep this in mind, Staggering Voice is nice in that sense. Next, his ultimate, Sonic Scream. This is Black Bolt's signature ultimate, where he essentially elevates into the air and does a scream attack where it does amazing damage. As you can see, by T4ing this all the way, he's essentially attacking all enemies for 500% damage. No piercing, but it is raw damage. So, you know, like I said, he's one of the most gifted legendaries in the game in terms of offensive output. That's why it's really nice to boost him up as much as possible and utilize his full potential. Last but not least, King of ATTILAN. And really with this ability, it's a passive that's a mixture of essentially getting him the extra strikes when the enemy drops below that 25% threshold. And additionally, he actually does target villain tech enemies more damage, especially if they're in that classification. So instead of 200%, it's actually doubled. On top of that, he's also got the opportunity to actually apply disruption and clear negatives on any summoner. So this specifically does apply to any characters that have those summons. More notably, Ultron's the one that actually does come in mind. He can actually disrupt Ultron. It's very beautiful. And it's on top of that, by boosting this all the way as well to the T4, he gains extra boost in damage, and you see he also gains additional resistance and max health for his fellow Inhuman allies. So really, they get a benefit from having Black Bolt as well. And on top of that, he also has an opportunity again to just strip away those positive buffs from those enemies. So it's absolutely crucial that you do maximize this as well. It really does make Black Bolt who he is, having those extra attacking as well as being able to disrupt those summon targets. So overall, his kit's really well balanced. You can see here I brought him to tier 13 despite playing the game now for almost a year and a half. And as well, the ISO weight recommendation is the striker, because of the fact that with him being so gifted offensively, him getting those additional strikes not only allows his basic to be able to strip away positive effects, but getting that extra attack is just really immense for damage output. So overall, I love this character. He's one of the best characters in the game for offensive output. And the last thing I didn't know before is any enemies that have been slain by Black Bolt cannot be revived. So, you know, it makes him a beautiful ally to use in arena, or especially in real-time arena, because of the fact that any enemies that he takes down, it doesn't matter if you have a reviver such as Minerva or Doctor Strange, they won't be coming back. Another notable one is the symbiote roster, where Anti-Venom can actually bring back his fellow symbiote roster. So I do like that about his kit. He's actually the only character in the game that can do that right now. So I mean, because of that aspect, I do like the fact that any character with that unique kind of competitive advantage does add immense value for them in the long term in the later game. So with that being said here, I am actually going to turn off the auto sim here. I'm just going to show you guys a quick battle with my Inhumans team here that utilizes Karnak, Yo-Yo, as well as Quake, and last but not least, Crystal. So let's see if we can actually go up with some decent targets here. I want to see what the maximizer. This seems like a good team, but I want to go up against hard teams. So you know what? Maybe let's go for against this Magneto team because you know, the fact that Magneto actually has a blind, I can show you kind of how Black Bolt can use that to his advantage, even if he's actually blinded because of his unavoidable special attack. So let's see how this goes. And first and foremost, you guys, I would say the most important piece to having Black Bolt on your team is definitely Yo-Yo, because Yo-Yo has that really gifted passive where essentially if there's no other protector on the team, she's going to have a chance to actually apply the offense down when they attack. So you can see it actually applied there right when Toad attacked, and that's because, again, Yo-Yo is the only protector, so that's why that actually works. You can see here, Magneto does apply that blind in the beginning, right? So, unfortunately, in the beginning here, we're kind of going to be a sitting duck here. I actually shouldn't have used that, actually. I should have just waited because my guys are blinded. So, I'm just going to go ahead and waste my basics. But it's nice because in this situation, even if Black Bolt is blinded, he can actually activate a special. But the thing is, I don't know if I want to use that right now because of the fact that it is against Blob. But we do want to take down the squishier targets on this team. But here, I'm just going to demonstrate this as an example. You can see that Black Bolt's got the clear blind, and unfortunately we are taunted to Blob. We'll go ahead and still activate a special. And you can see, despite the fact that he's blind, it can still hit. So that is one aspect I like to take advantage with Black Bolt. It's really nice. You can see we got the healing with Crystal. What happens with Crystal's ability is that whenever any of our humans are brought down to near death, she does have the opportunity to actually bring them back to full HP, but they only get one chance of doing it. Really, once it's actually effective on there, you know, you can only utilize it once, so that's unfortunately the only downside of that. You can see with this Brotherhood team, unfortunately, that they are very, very defensive. We have to get through their defenses first, so right now, not looking great for our Inhumans roster, but once we get through their defenses, it does get a little better. Okay, perfect. So this is an opportunity now. It's looking good. We can actually activate Black Bolt's ultimate, and let's see how much damage he can do. Keep in mind, too, you can see the extra additional strikes that he's doing, especially due to the fact that they reached that threshold there, right? So I do go ahead there. I'm going to actually activate Karnak's ultimate here to actually finish off Blob, and actually what's nice about his ultimate is he can actually use disruption as well. So you can see the battle is going really bad right now, but because of how powerful my Black Bolt is, you can see how much damage he did with his ultimate, and that's exactly why we did that, right? So I want to take advantage of his secondary strike, but you can see this battle is going to be quite tight because of the fact that our guys were a little bit weaker there. But fortunately, so as long as we focus on the squishier targets, again, like I said, it's beautiful that both Black Bolt and Yo-Yo can synergize extremely well. They are the two most important pieces. So not the best battle to show you guys here, but really kind of demonstrates what he can bring. And you can see the striker with his passive doing the additional damage. We still won the blitz battle. It was tight, but again, it's because they're up against a tankier team with blind, and so that wasn't exactly an ideal situation for an Inhumans roster, but it really showcases how powerful they can be, especially when utilized correctly. And also keep in mind there is an imbalance here because my Black Bolt is obviously much stronger than the rest of the Inhumans. But with that being said, you guys, let's talk about now where he is in the game and whether or not he is feasible, right? So personally, I still see Black Bolt as one of the top characters to utilize in arena because, as I touched on earlier, he's got the very rare ability in the game to actually take down an enemy and they can't be revived ever again. On top of that, he is actually Dark Dimension 2 usable, but you know, many players are going to argue that they won't utilize Black Bolt in Dark Dimension 3 because of the fact that when you're going through Dark Dimension 3, especially when you're looking at the leaderboards and whatnot, unfortunately with Dark Dimension 3, you know, everything scales in hell. So Black Bolt, unfortunately with him, he only provides a lot of damage. He's a really one-dimensional character. I love what he brings to the table, but Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4 is not really his forte. You know, that's exactly why I stopped at tier 13. Not saying there's no future use in the future for him, but because of that, and the other caveat on him, unfortunately, is the fact that he actually has bio gear that's utilized, the same kind of gear that's utilized for the symbiote roster for the city characters, as well as being able to push through the Dark Dimension 4 city as well. So, you know, when they have those use of materials being shared, it actually does create a bottleneck for characters that you want to bring up. And unfortunately, with Black Bolt not really being multi-dimensional, unfortunately, what brings down his value. With that being said, I still see him being a top 5 character in arena. I still see him a top offensive force with his Inhumans in war. But unfortunately, in other aspects of the game, especially Dark Dimension, You can utilize him in campaign for sure as well, but what I do like, however, is to bring up the fact that, you know, with the recent release of Silver Surfer and Silver Surfer's passive here, that actually he gains more value with having a one more hero cosmic allies here. You can see they gain additional focus, so that actually does help Black Bolt in the long term. But I'm very interested to see what's going to happen to this character, because like I said, he's got some unique skills in the game. Unfortunately though, he is only a one-trick pony in the sense that, you know, he's meant for damage and he is a little bit on the slower side. So I still think he's going to add amazing value for characters investing in. He's one of the best offensive legendaries, if not the greatest in the game. And the one thing I do want to touch on is he's actually he's the only legendary in the game that's required for another legendary being a top legendary. So who am I referring to? Usually what happens with these events is Ebony Maw does follow the Black Bolt event, and unfortunately for Ebony Maw, he does actually require Black Bolt to be unlocked. So, you know, with that being said, all those aspects, even though Black Bolt does not have the end game progression for Dark Dimension, he's utilized in arena, raids, especially with Yo-Yo. He's utilized in the offense or alliance teams, as well as being a required legendary. So that makes him actually a really top pick for legendaries in the game. You may not build him up as much just due to that conflict with BioGear, but because of that, he'll always have a cemented place in the game. So feel free to invest him in fully, because he's definitely one of the best characters. I haven't pushed him all the way because, like I said, I'm focused on finishing up Dark Dimension 3 and working on Dark Dimension 4 preparation, and that conflict in BioGear is what's prevented me from leveling him up. But hope this video is able to help you guys kind of get some insight in terms of Black Bolt, where he is right now. But definitely, I do believe that with him and his skills, he does have a place in the game for the long term. So definitely feel free to invest. Thank you as always, you guys, for watching. I do appreciate your support, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.